what you need done very efficiently, and I think they're going to be able to bring that back. Now, going into game 2, we do still have the same sides actually appearing, and OMG, despite the fact that they won, still going to change their draft. They don't want to have to deal with the Maokai that Meteor was bringing through. I mean, that ultimate was just bringing so much control in a lot of those fights, and it was what was allowing LGD to find avenues back in those mid games where they were just playing as that consistent 3 to 4 man unit.
Yep, the Yami being the Yuumi being banned away, but the Nami being hovered here. So normally we do see the Nami being picked first, as the Lucian generally doesn't need to be kind of picked away this early on. Of course, the Nami will be the more important part of this puzzle.
The bigger thing is it feels like you have more options, right? To where you can see Nami Draven, which OMG are highlighting right now, or Nami Lucian. To where if you take away the Lucian, I mean, it just opens up the enemy to pick away Nami, have the Draven as well, and you're left with, okay, well, what do I go with Lucian against Nami? You're gonna bring back, I guess, maybe like an engaged support, and it'd be a little bit awkward, but OMG maybe gonna have their own answer of what they're willing to go for. I'm curious to see what it. Oh. If we're going to get a bit of flavor coming out that we've seen in other regions so far.
What have you done, Keria? This is not the timeline I wanted, but I mean, it would work out as a very power. Again, it comes down to how bot lane's been going. It's a bit of an arms race. The more you can bully, the more you can make it work, but not going to lock that one in just yet. Going to get the Cassante there for Shanji and say, look, we're going to take the better top lane matchup, and right now you got to feel like, I was going to say, you're going to have to try and pick up your AD carry here in some kind of instance for the side of LGD. And even then, you know, do you really want to let your bans go all the way down towards top lane? So it's probably going to maybe be AD carry and a top lane ban here just to try and cover off all bases.
And it's really interesting kind of with how support is shifted up in the mind games that are coming into this draft. Because typically this is where you would expect to see something, again, like the Draven come out. But with OMG highlighting, hey, we're willing to pick one of these marksmen into the support role and make your laning life a living hell, LGD are just going to opt for a Caitlyn and try to set up for, hey, you really can't pick anything against us that's going to make us struggle in lane. We have the max amount of range and sustain to be able to play with, even if this isn't one of the common pairings we really see all too well. But another difference coming into this game is with OMG adjusting their bans, it left the Jax open. So Xiaoshu going to be able to get his hands comfortably on this pick and have the better side of this matchup, especially as the game goes long. It's just going to be up to Xiaoshu to be able to get through that laning phase. We saw the fancy footwork there in game 1, him almost able to survive those dives, but OMG were just a bit too clean. Cream, though, what a signature pick, Ashin. You always love to see it.
Yeah, getting himself the Sylas. We obviously know the Sylas and the Kali were kind of his two champions almost exclusively in 2022. So Kassadin, I will say, leaves a little bit to be desired in that game number 1. Did well, but obviously Kassadin at the end of the game just kind of has to jump on the AD carry. Not really much else to really do. And I'm curious as we come into the last few bans, because it's a completely off-topic question. How are you finding the early morning starts? You were a night owl in 2022, isn't it?
casting LPL at 9 a.m. is so much better than casting LPL at 2 a.m.
I think it's
this is just OP.
I mean, I'm just glad to know you're happy. That's all I want in the world is your happiness. But let's see if OMG get that happiness themselves. They have got themselves a beefy front line. They've got some boys coming into this game. And you know what? LGD are saying, all right, we're coming to play. We are going to be throwing just as much back at you as they get themselves a little bit of a more of a traditional front-to-back team fight. Now you got OMG kind of answering in kind. So both teams looking to try and 5v5 this and then get on top of those carries.
Yeah, the only thing I'm not too sold on for the side of LGD is the Vi. I'm not really quite sure if there would be a much better alternative coming out, but I mean, you look at how their comp wants to play out, right? A lot of it's going to be down to this 1-4 setup coming on through. Both Azir and Caitlyn serving as those artillery pieces. You have the disengage coming from both XQW and Jinzhao's ultimate. I guess Meteor does give them a bit of pick potential and like turn opportunity if a fight goes sideways, but you're also just giving OMG another way to engage on you with Cream able to steal away Meteor's ultimate. So you have to worry about Vile coming through, the Wukong jumping on you, Cassante getting on your back line. So to me, a lot of it's going to be about if LGD can dissuade, get set up first, right? Get the traps down, get vision laid out, and deny those engages. But it feels like OMG might just have too many tools at their disposal. with how short range they are, it does set up for LGD to find such a strong early game lead that they're never able to get close enough. But still, it feels like I'll always bet on the compositions that do just have to run in mindlessly and find the engage as compared to these ones that I think have a bit more fine-tuning to them, especially here in the LPL, where teams were really good at just, running into you and finding that perfect engage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes down to the ease of execution, really, and we've seen it quite a bit, but it's like, sometimes the simplest answer is the correct one. You just need to try and put yourself in a position where you know that you're going to be able to get in with an engage. It's not going to be that difficult. It's why Vi kind of works as an engage tool, but again, the Vi will be very squishy in those early stages. You need to be very careful about how you end up kind of going for these early game fights as LGD, and that's why we see the Wukong being picked as an answer to it a lot of the time, because that burst when you get the Divine Sunderer available to you is just so powerful into that matchup. But we'll have to wait and see how it all ends up panning out. LGD already on the back foot, looking to try and bounce themselves back. The Gyos ring through. It's been a while, Lyric, that we've had some very definitive Gyos coming through here. As OMG now move themselves into the enemy jungle. I don't know if they were spotted. It's kind of a lackluster. I guess maybe LGD are expecting this and just kind of saying, look, we kind of assume they're going to be here, but we're also going to assume that they're going to just kind of walk away from this. Ooh, no. He's going to go for him. Flash going to be burnt here, and they're going to try and kill him off. There's nothing you can do. That's first blood going over to Cream, and there's just not a lot else you could really do about that.
I mean, we got the answer to your question, though. They very much did not know that OMG had walked into their jungle. It's going to be a great start for them, especially with summoners going down. Both flashes were used, and with Cream being on the melee champion can be a little bit more punishing to play forward, but at least he still has that TP to, if the lane gets in a bit of a rough position, can be able to make it back. So OMG going to once again have a nice early start coming through. And now I'm curious to see of how these lanes go, because LGD, they have the preferred matchup in top side. They have a bit of a stronger laning bot lane with the Caitlyn able to come on through as well and play with that range. But that might demand a lot of jungle attention from Meteor. And if OMG can find out where he's playing, exploit the other side of the map, it will leave openings for Aki to abuse.
Yeah, and this is, again, Aki MVP from the game number 1. Really gonna be, you would imagine, looking pretty keenly at that mid lane. Azir does have relative safety with that shifting sands, but definitely something that can be abused should you be able to get the abscond abduct out and about. The Kingslayer as well can just do so much. His top lane is, I will say it is infuriating going against the Cassante and just getting hit back every single time and knowing that you're just like not trading as effectively as you maybe should be able to. But we'll see now, and oh, that's exactly it. No shifting sands. Abscond, abduct, and you, sir, are dead.
Doing a great job of punishing the fact that the summoners came out early on. You want to help Cream be able to find the all-ins in this matchup. They're going to be able to get the wave pushed in. And most importantly, without that TP, XQW not going to be able to answer it, going to give Cream a great recall timing. And, I mean, for LGD, just not a way you can really start this game. When we hit on that, their composition kind of wants to be able to get ahead early on, play out from the range advantage they have, get setups on objectives, and just pretty much any area they want to control first. Now, with Cream being so strong, it should be easier for them to start finding these opportunities and get down the vision they want. They already have control of the spawn side scuttle coming through, so we get a bit of a replay of what happened on bot side.
Yeah,
Ignite coming out from Jinzhao, as well as heal from LPC.
Yeah, kind of very testy, I suppose. Very antsy to try and get rid of those summoners, unfortunately for them. As we can see now, Cream is going to walk straight into Meteor and just shift himself over the side of the wall. So no harm, no foul, as he's trying to really reset this wave. But again, it's going to be so difficult now to try and reset this one here for XQW, because he's just not really in a position to take this one back. As we do see PP God taking a very poor trade there, but it was because LPC and Jinzhao did get a back end, so they're going to be able to try and push this wave out, get themselves back onto the thing. And curious to see now where the side of LGD try and focus, because you are starting to see Meteor now, moving towards that level 6. Where do you think he's going to try and focus his attentions to try and win back this early game?
I feel like you have to stay around mid and bot. You kind of just leave Xiaoshu up to his own devices in this lane matchup 1v1, let him scale up to become that big monster. And if you can get on something like a Lucian, I mean, short range, if he does want to go for a push like we just saw, you really have to commit a lot of yourself to be able to get those waves in. I think that would be the easiest option. But with how much XQW's been getting bullied, it might just set up for Meteor to have to play a lot around mid. I mean, OMG look to punish it again. Nice sidestep coming out from XQW.
Yeah, is still going to be taking a little bit of harassment there as the empowered Monster Q does end up taking about half his health bar. And honestly, we talked about it earlier. I've seen this before. TT's captain was not even their captain of their team. The player captain was in a very similar situation. And it's something we talk about all the time when new players come up from the LDL, specifically from them in the mid lane, is that if you're hard focused like this, how do you react? How do you deal with this? Because he only just got his flashback now, but he's just not been able to have any kind of semblance of control in this lane.
Luckily for him, he at least is in his Azir, right? So he's always going to have range to play with to be able to catch these waves. And if Meteor and Jinzhou are timed to be able to play around the mid lane, he'll still be able to get those pushes through. But, I mean, coming into competitive and well, I guess tier 1 of competitive, right? He has been a player in the LDL, and having a team focus you so heavily could be a different experience. He's able.
Oh, LPC. Does have to flash away there. Doesn't have a heal to keep him safe. Jinzhou taking down to about half HP as he gets that ebb and flow going. But this is probably the reason why you might want to be taking the Lucian before the Nami sometimes, because this powerhouse is just doing so much. This Caitlyn's just got no power. Look at this wave lyric. There's so much being lost here.
I mean, just the difference in the playstyles as well, right? For Lucian, it's all about those all-in bursts. For LPC on the Caitlyn, it's about whittling Abel down before he could do so. The confidence of him to just flash immediately after the bubble had ended was just so insane to me. I love Abel with the read on how much damage he's able to do. We need to remember back when he was with Cold, I mean, there were just some bot lane matchups and some duos where they were just able to come out so far ahead and really be able to just steamroll. Abel has always been such an up and down player. I mean, some of the most like memorable, we'll just call it what is memorable ints of the LPL, but also some of the most like brutal 2v2 lane wins that we've seen as well.
I mean, this is getting rough right now for LGD. OMG are happy as Larry because, like you said, LGD have to play towards this mid and bot. They have to see Meteor use this level 6 now to try and make something happen, but bot lane's already losing. Mid lane's not doing so hot right now. It's becoming harder and harder for them to make things happen, but with the movement you've had to do, you have to TP from XQW down bot side. You have to try and put LPC into mid, so it's all a bit shifted. It's all a bit all over the place right now as double pinks, just to make sure, are in that bot side. 10 gold, you would imagine, going over to Cream as he just pinged that one up. I like that little change. Even if you ping it, you can get that 5 gold for yourself. Means nothing in the grand scheme of the world, but it does give you a little bit of extra cash, and that's all this game is about. It's all about the money, honey.
All about the money. I'm with you.
Yeah, oh man, absolutely. get that bag, and that's what you get that 5 gold from. But Meteor now using the fact that his bot lane were up in towards this Rift Herald to try and get this objective for his team, but he's got to be careful. Shanji's got the first move, and Cream is not going to let this one go without a fight. I lie. He totally is going to let it go without a fight.
I was going to say,
and bot lane is getting pushed.
I was actually really questioning what OMG were going to try to do there with Abel still just playing on bot side. I guess they do keep LGD around mid longer, the fact that they cut off this path, and Cream going to be able to get away from any potential engage coming on through. So for LGD, able to scrounge a little bit back. They still have the Jax to rely on later on, but Abel, he's going to get to his mythic so incredibly early.
I mean, this is so much free gold and just straight up, like, no experience coming in here for LGD. They're going on like a death ball right now. They've got to be resigned themselves to playing a little bit of a pseudo ARAM as such, as they just realize, oh, we just gave up 4+ plates in this bot side to Abel, who's, as you said, got to get that Gale Force so early, and we know just how incredibly powerful this Lucian can be, and he's going to go back, and I imagine he already has it.
I love that you hit on the experience as well, because we look at mid lane with how much XQW is focused early on. We have a level lead for Cream. We have a level lead down in bot for Abel as well.
Ooh.
He's actually going to go towards the Kraken Slayer, try and put out as much DPS as he possibly can. And now this is going to be where OMG start to really hit the power spikes that they've been looking for. nothing they can really play around just yet with how low bot lane turret is. You can expect them to just look to lean to try to break that one down naturally and then start setting up for plays on Dragon. So to me, that's what opens up Meteor playing towards the opposite side of the map and leaning up towards Xiaoshu.
Don't forget top lane is in here too. Because nothing's been happening in top side for a long time, and I don't expect it to change anyway, shape, or form. But as we see now, Abel just being left to himself, pushing in these waves, constantly being a bit of a nuisance here to go for it. And again, like you said, just having that Kraken Slayer, putting out as much DPS as possible makes it so difficult. There's a 2-level difference now in this bot side. LPC is going to have to be so careful before he really try and makes anything happen here. And already Abel just kind of putting down the hurt, saying, look, you want to try and get some CS, you want to try and make this one work. It's just not going to happen, buddy.
Yeah, you know, I am a bit surprised he didn't go towards the Gale Force like you hinted on earlier, considering that it feels like a lot of OMG's win condition is going to be about their positioning around the setup that LGD are able to get, but we're going to see what he's able to do with this.
Wow.
Sidestepping just fine without anything for now. And this is what we just hit on, right? OMG just going to naturally be able to break open the spot lane turret and then start rotating this two-man core of Lucian and Karma around the map.
I mean, it's not only just the bot lane turret, it's pressure around that dragon now. You're going to have a constantly pushing lane, basically. That's going to be very easy for you to push in. We just touched on as well, as you mentioned, the fact that the Lucian is getting so big, so early. Full gold and plates going to him in the bot side. It's a 3,000 goldie. We're 11 minutes in. It's only been 2 kills, but it does feel like OMG, similar to game number 1, just having total control of this early game. That is Berserker Greaves for Abel straight off the bat. He's kind of just saying, okay, cool. I'm gonna go fight this Jax or this Caitlyn. I don't need anything else to deal with. I just need to be able to kill them on a side lane or maybe just kind of assassinate them in a team fight. Nothing else comes out from this.
Yeah, and we're going to see how they use that to be able to contest this Drake right now. You can see Shanji going up for a back up in top side, so he's going to probably want to start pathing towards mid just in case LGD do opt into a fight on the side. Is LPC not exactly caught out, but some good damage coming through.
I was going to say, I'm surprised we didn't see Cream take away the ultimate there from the ace in the hole to try and maybe go for a full assassination. I did misspoke as well. It's not Berserker Greaves. It is, of course, the steel-plated toe caps, or whatever way they're called now. It's Ninja Tabbies, and we're all going to call it that. But now, with the dragon being taken, you do have pressure in this top side, so Shanji's just kind of been left on an island to himself to deal with this Jax. Not really going to be able to do much else apart from just get that single plate. Rift Herald gets dropped into mid lane as Abel does put himself in a position to potentially defend it. They would love to try and stop this charge, stop this gold from going over. Don't think it's just going to be happening just yet. There's going to be gold going over to XQW. And while all of this is happening, it's a lot of toing and froing, a lot of your move, my move, is now we get Shanji maybe getting engaged on top of this top side, but with the Frostfire Gauntlet, so difficult to really take down this Cassante.
And I feel like now we're really going to start to see OMG able to push out their lead because of the lane setups able to come through. OMG's comp has, you know, an incredible 1-3-1. They can play out through both sides. If you look at LGD's, neither Caitlyn or Azir really feel too comfortable playing out in the side lane. Sure, you have the Jax on the opposite side, but Cassante's going to do a lot better job of neutralizing that matchup. I mean, especially considering that he still has his tier 2 turret, so Xiaoshu can't push it in that far anyway. As compared to LPC catching waves on the opposite side, he has to play near his tier 2 turret. He cannot match whoever they decided to send in that lane. So it's going to give a lot more freedom for OMG to be able to look to make plays. The big thing OMG are going to have to recognize is actually roaming Cream around the map, stealing away jungle camps, getting down vision, or you're just going to allow LPC to safely catch waves under that turret.
Oof. It's already dire straits right now for LGD. They do obviously still have a win condition with that Jax. You can see him kind of doing fairly well with himself, recognizing he was just going to be left to farm on his own. So he picked up a Cull to make sure he gets as much value for his side lane pressure as he possibly can. Now we wait to see where this game kind of shifts to. 2 early dragons again for OMG. It is an Ocean Rift, so not the most impactful in the world, but does offer opportunities with extra brushes and extra foliage to be able to try and maybe make something happen. The vision not going to be as clear cut even as it was before, as now both teams kind of finding themselves in this mid lane. They're going to steal away the Nami tidal wave. It's not going to do a lot, to be perfectly honest. And that's just, unfortunately, a bit of a waste there from Cream. Thought he maybe had an angle, just didn't really hit anything.
Yeah, just really wanting to find that engage OMG, I think, could have been a bit more patient with it, considering that they're in the driver's seat. Pull LGD more towards the Herald and then look for those opportunities. The hijack, not too crazy of a cooldown. You can see it's already almost at the halfway mark, and they're still trying to find a way to be able to get into this pit. I like that they're leaning up towards Shanji first. Guarantee yourselves prio through a side lane. But LGD, they're not backing down.
No, they are not. OMG, though, only about 20 or so seconds left before that hijack is available. We are going to see XQW getting jumped on. He flashes. He gets the heal as well by LPC, who has to use his own flash. That's a great tidal wave from Jinzhao, which completely stops all of OMG from moving forward. Meteor moves forward, trying to make this one work. But the shifting sand taken away. The Emperor's Divide. My empire is bigger than yours. Double kill coming in here for the Lucian. Triple kill for Abel. And that's LGD almost making this one work for themselves, but they just can't make it stick.
I mean, Cream set it up, but Abel knocking it out of the park. Now going to be able to push in through this mid lane. Herald's still up if they want to look to turn back and pick up that objective as well. And this gold lead's only going to continue to grow for OMG. I'm scared to imagine how much gold Abel's sitting on right now.
Yeah, 3 kills straight away there. He was already good. He's going to get his Essence Reaver, that's for absolute sure. But let's have a look at this one here, because again, I want you to keep an eye out for Jinzhao's ultimate here, because it does separate them out so well.
It really does. They're going to kind of cut them all off. The buy even comes in as well to just lock this Wukong in place. But then Cream, remember, he used the Nami tidal wave not too long ago. His hijack already back up, gets the flash behind, gets, a couple people knocked into the rest of his team. And with Shanji on the flank, taking people like Meteor out of the fight, it just opens up for all the bursts to come out from Abel and not allow Xiaoshu to completely take over.
Well, that's an Essence Reaver picked up there by Abel. He's a full item ahead of his opposite number on LGD, as LPC only had the Gale Force available to him. Doesn't even have upgraded boots, still sitting on 2 brown bags on his feet. But this is getting rough and rougher, because we're going to go back towards this Rift Herald, but it looks like OMG are going to say, look, we don't need to fight it. We can just get away with taking away all these camps or all these waves, make sure we're kind of in a better situation than we were before. But they're not going to let this one go just yet, and with objective bounties available for LGD, it shows you how much in the hole they are in. They're actually hitting the eye there was probably not the best decision for PP God, and sadly for them, they will not be able to deny the taking of the Rift Herald, but they will be able to deny the giving of it in terms of its ability.
Yeah, now they have complete control over this river area, so it's going to be able to stop any rotations coming out from LGD. Once this time's out, they can head down to Dragon first. And then for OMG, they'll be sitting on soul points.
With these soul points, that means you're looking at a pretty early soul condition here for the side of OMG, and regardless of the kind of soul you get, it is still all those stats from the mountain, the chem, and of course the 2 ocean dragons you get is still very, very valuable. Cream is here. He's going to go in with that hijacked by ultimate. Meteor being stopped from joining in. He's going to force 2 ultimates out of it. This is a 2v3 in the top side, and Cream is only dealing with 2 of them. He's going 1v2 and still going to probably come out with a kill. That is insane how Cream's able to do that, and this is why you can't let this guy have Silas.
No, Silas and Akali, the 2 champions. I mean, this man is just transcended on. Akali was banned away, still gets his hands on this. Shanji there, able to drive away the other member as well. I believe it was Meteor, and now, I mean, OMG, they pick a dragon at the same time on the opposite side of the map. So, we said coming into Game 2, we wanted to see a bit of a more reassuring win come out from OMG to match the expectations for them coming into the split, and at least so far they're delivering.
I mean, Game 1 was okay from OMG. LGD definitely showed some life in themselves. Game 2 is just domination right now. And let's have a look at this one here, because it's just great from Shanji as well, because he says, cool, all I have to do is keep the Vibe from getting on top of Cream, and there's nothing you can do.
No, and I mean, so much damage came out before even any of the CC can even look to connect, right? 75% of XQW's health bar gone. The Emperor's Divide comes out. Sadly, it wasn't timed well, so Jinzhao threw the bubble where Cream was right when XQW went for the ultimate, so ended up not really getting maximum value, but it didn't look like it maybe would have even mattered. Cream right now is just so large. Facing and coming back with a full Zhonya's completed.
large and in charge. Even has 5 stacks in his Dark Seal right now, as we can see OMG moving forward, making as much of a nuisance of themselves, and they're starting to feel pretty good in this game. They haven't even lost a tower just yet. It is a pretty good start from them there as the Emperor's Divide gets hijacked. That's a 2-level difference. That's it. Sorry, let me rephrase that. That is a 2-level difference before the Rod of Ages has finished stacking. That's how far ahead Cream is compared to his opposite number of XQW.
And let's remember, a lot of this is coming from the early attention put through. XQW tragically walking into that brush level 1, dies, loses flash and TP. Aki comes back to punish it, and from there he was never able to get back in the game. Now for LGD, they're trying to find picks. It's really their only way back in, but even that wouldn't turn into too much unless they're able to, you know, force or rush down a Baron. But we need to move past only Cream Machine, because even if they do kill Cream, even Aki's huge. Even Aki's incredibly fed and so strong right now. Yeah, Abel, 3-0-1. Just so many members you have to worry about on the side of OMG. Shanji might have been quiet this game, but he's still playing Cassante, who, let's be real, Cassante's always a problem.
Yeah, Cassante is just an issue right now for everyone and anyone who ends up going against them. It is still only a 3,000 gold lead, and they do get a nice objective bounty that cuts it down by a nice couple of hundreds. So good job to LGD, trying to be as positive as you possibly can. But minute 45 until that Dragon Soul spawns, and it's so hard to see if you could actually get a fight, because thank you, observers on the opposite side. Like, you have no idea what's happening. You have no vision.
Yeah, everything is just blind right now. And
oh, Jinzhao.
Cream might have found the pick.
Ooh, good flash, but that's, again, another summoner no longer available, another opportunity no longer to be able to save you, shall we say, should you get caught out again and again and again. We keep looking towards OMG's win condition. They're going to have these dragons. They're going to have so much priority over this Baron. That with the Ocean Soul, they can start and stop Baron at will. There is no consequence whatsoever for them going for it.
And that's why I like that OMG have been playing around this Fog of War on topside for now, because you know Dragon's a minute out. This is the timing where you want to play around getting enemy flashes out, especially when you're the team looking for these all-ins up against a team that wants to maintain that range distance. Only Jinzhao so far, not the end of the world, but if they can somehow find a setup to get either LPCs or XQWs, that really feels like it would be fight-defining. And with Cream now being a little bit cheeky, it's always possible, but no one from LGD actually going to play up towards the topside jungle, and now Cream finally will show on the wave, so LGD will know where he is.
I mean, it's pretty dire straits, I will admit, for LGD when you're looking at Meteor's build right now. He's got himself the Evan Shroud because he needs stats. That's all he needs right now. It's not the best item in the world to be getting. Obviously, I think the Radiant Virtue would be far more sort of desirable, but it is 500 gold more expensive as we get a full engage. Shanji finds a kill there onto the Azir, and now we get Cream just fully engaging on the backside here. Shanji, though, with 2 kills of his own, and the Cassante triple kill before he gets taken out. They're going to try and kill Abel, but they just can't do it. It's an ace all the way to 23 minutes. This game is all but over, Lyric.
Yeah, OMG with a great bounce back after their week 1 loss. They did play RNG, even despite their changes, a team that has to be feared. And now coming into this game 2 after a shaky game 1, everything is just going so well. I'm surprised with the player's face cam that Meteor was just laughing. I guess if you weren't laughing, you would be crying, so I do kind of get it, because right now, my God, this punishment coming out from OMG is it's just disgusting. No other way to say it.
I mean, it's kind of doomed. I mean, you got Baron now taken, you got a reset, go for that dragon, but let's have a look at the replay here, because again, this is just a good TP coming out from Cream. They go for the full engage. You don't have the money. You're just too poor, unfortunately, to deal with this.
And like we said, a lot of it comes down to the setup. We saw the vision control coming out from them. They actually had a TP come in from Cream because LGD were able to get a semblance of control back in bot side river. With the flank coming out, with Cassante able to go forward, it opened up for XQW and LPC to get locked down. And now, with that fight going so heavily in the way of OMG, Baron's going over, Soul's going over. And for LGD, what you're hoping for is that OMG makes 6.5. Large
okay.
6.5 large, the largest size of the Circle K gas station cup drink size steaks that you can hope for. That's what you need. And you know what?
Why Circle K? Why? That is such a like.
Look,
you went
look,
to
look, look.
Ireland once.
Actually, where I was living in the States, Circle K was like the bigged convenience store there was.
Really? Oh,
Actually,
wow,
that's not
okay.
true. That's not true. It was Quick Trip. I'm even lying. I'm lying to you. I'm lying to the people.
Yeah, he lies unprovoked. Can't trust him. Can't be trusted.
Those Circle
but
K
yeah,
cups were huge.
they are huge. They are such a massive, unnecessarily large size. But speaking of unnecessarily large, 7,000 gold lead. Nice segue coming back into the game. Thank you very much, Lyric.
You don't want to talk about Circle K cups?
You know what? No, I do not. I get my petrol from them, and that's about it. That's all I got. So we're gonna come back into the game and see where. Well, in fairness, Circle K Cups probably be more relevant in the next few minutes, just in terms of LGD standing, because they ain't got a hope or a prayer. They, 1 and 2 on Xiaoshu is nice, but he's not got anywhere to put it, because I don't know what you're gonna do. There's no way you can really get an engage off, like you said in the pregame when we look at the draft. If LGD were able to get ahead, they could maybe keep everyone at an arm's distance and go for the fights on their terms, but they don't get fights on their terms anymore.
No, and even for a while, we were saying, like, after the conundrums mid and bots started to go down, a lot of it would rely on this Jax being able to get ahead and find something. And despite the fact that, he was always slightly up in lane, they were never able to turn that advantage into anything, which maybe it's hard to blame Xiaoshu when the amount of fires on the other sides of the map was just too hard to even outweigh.
I mean, yeah, like it's not his fault that the rest of the building crumbled around his apartment and his was fine. His painting fell down. That was the smallest inconvenience that happened. But we're gonna see the Tami tidal wave already being used here, as Cream did get the hijack himself. So this is just methodical, slowly but surely pushing everything forward. That I don't even think that broke much of the shield, to be perfectly honest. Shanji is just too big for LPC to real deal with. And honestly, the build you go with this Caitlyn is the build that you have to go to get that lane dominance. It's the rapid fire and the Gale Force. You're looking to try and keep somebody down, but you're looking at a rapid fire Gale Force, which isn't exactly a lot of AD stats in general, against Navori Quick Blades, into what's looking like an LDR, as well as the Kraken, the Essence Reaver. Like, you just can't compare the damage.
No, and we're at a point where it's like, if the game was closer, you could be like, okay, look at the wave clear coming out from LGD. You have the Azir for OMG, incredibly short range, hard for them to push into the enemy base. But it feels like that gold difference and those item differences coming out pretty much negate what wave clear LGD could have, because the threat of engages, the threat of dives will always be there. You nailed it. OMG still looking like they want to play decently conservatively and not push their luck for a play that probably could even work out, even if it is a bit aggressive, and just wait for Baron, wait for Elder to come on through. But LGD, they're caught.
Yep, they're caught, but they are going to try and put their best foot forward. And Aki, not that tanky right now. Went for the Black Cleaver second, so not really doing as much as he possibly could be in terms of tank stats. But you've used all 4 summoners in bot side. You used the ultimate from Vi, and you didn't kill anyone. You just got the flash and heal out of OMG. It's something, but it ain't a lot.
I expected to see Abel maybe go flash forward and try to find the pick onto LPC. I'm not sure if maybe there was just not enough range, or he was afraid that if he does that, he's committing and he will just go down himself, especially when you're jumping into members like a Caitlyn and an Azir. OMG still just wanting to play it, I'd say, mostly reserved. They didn't even really lose too much in that play. You lost Abel's heal and you lost Aki's flash, but you got bot lane sums in exchange. So for OMG now with the LDR picked up by Abel, it's just even more damage coming through to just punch LGD right in the face.
I was gonna say, the big thing for me is Cream is level 18, highest in the game. By a long margin. Not only that, he also has a death cap alongside his almost fully, not fully stacked, but fully gold efficient Magi Soul Stealer. And yeah, it's just gonna get harder and harder. I can't take it anymore. You are at a point now where you need, like you said, 6.5 Circle K sized miracles to to come back and help
okay,
you here.
Cups, but
Yeah.
at this point, you might need the whole thing.
You just
might
need
the whole
Circle
Circle
K,
K.
man. Like,
That's okay. OMG now gonna go for the Baron.
I mean, it's
LGD
gone.
looking like they want to. It might be gone, but it's not about what is gone or what is left. It's about the fight that we want to happen.
Well, we're going to get it right now because we're going to jump straight into this fight here. Aki with no flash, but it does not matter. There's going to be the ultimate title to try and swift everyone off of this. Meteor goes down. They get the hijacked by ultimate in exchange. The Azir has fallen. Jin Jiao will fall next. Shanji, excuse me, and will jump straight in to get himself maybe a triple kill. But Xiao Shu will not allow it to happen. He keeps flashing, he keeps going, he keeps trying to put up some resistances, but it's just not enough. It's going to be a 2-0 Lyric, and it's going to be a good bounce back for OMG.
Great to see. I mean, all their carries turning up. Cream and Abel really being the standouts in that early game. Let's remember Aki was there to help set it up for Cream as well. Shanji had a bit of a slow landing phase, was playing against Jack, so you kind of expect it, but later on, once the lead was there, able to get into the fray as well. And yeah, OMG gonna be happy. OMG fans with signs gonna be incredibly happy. Us, I feel like we're pretty happy.
You're waking up, you know, it's not even 11 yet. You've already got a series down.
It
you know,
is
the whole
so
day ahead
great.
of you.
Usually, this is the time before that I'd be finishing. It'd be 10:30. Like, oh, LPL's
That's
in
true.
right now. 10:30 a.m. Now it's, you know,
Now
we just
the
finished
day
first
has-
series.
The day has just begun. Anyway, well, good win for OMG, bouncing themselves back, like we said,
No.
bringing in PP God. It's a good start.
I said OMG were happy. OMG fans with signs were happy, and we were happy. But OMG just kind of looked another day in the office. You know, they don't. Oh wait, there we go. There's the smile coming out from Cream.
No, he noticed it. You call it. Yeah, he heard you. Can't be smiling. Again, like you said, expected win to come out here for OMG. They did game one a little bit. I suppose it took a little bit more time than they probably anticipated it being, but it did look like throughout the entire series they were just a better team overall. New logo, same OMG. They are still trying to push for playoffs to try and bring themselves into a slightly better position than they were last year. And Cream still doing Cream things. I think the Cassidy game was definitely a little bit overzealous, but at the end of the day, the Silas game, like the guy has 2 pocket picks that need to be banned for a reason.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so Akali's meta, Silas is meta, Cassidy, another champion that stylistically fits his wheelhouse is meta, Rise, a champion that we know Cream has been able to play throughout his career, another meta staple, even if it is pretty much banned every game. It's just like we're in a pretty good spot for where Cream is at. Shanji still looking incredibly good with the fact that just a lot of like bruisers and fighters are in the meta pool. But to me, the big thing is still about PP God coming in because we don't know how much practice they got with PP God on the lineup. He got announced pretty late on OMG into the offseason. And with us, you know, coming back from Chinese New Year break, like not a lot of teams are spending that time scrimming. Like most of that time you're celebrating, spending with your family. So the fact that they were able to come in, even if it was a bit shaky in game one, but still look cohesive coming on through, I think is a good sign for OMG as a whole.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's nice to see them bouncing back a little bit. Like we said, they are going to be pushing for playoffs, and you do need to start picking up wins. That's the whole thing is that as we talked about a little bit earlier, is that the LPL starts and then it just feels like it finishes. So you need to be picking up as many wins early as you possibly can to make sure you're giving yourself as best of an opportunity going into later in the season. But yeah, Cream doing the most damage does not... Actually, I lie. He didn't even do the most damage. XQW did, despite... Yeah.
Oh no! I was gonna say even on his team he didn't, but I just
no, he did.
Yeah.
You just can't read numbers. It's fine.
You're right. As speaking of XQW, you know, this was his debut. Feels like, I guess what would be your review of our boy Xiao Qinghua? It feels kind of tough because you can see the semblance of like confidence and aggression there. Game 2 is almost impossible to judge. He got caught at level 1, which is obviously his own mistake. Then the repeat game comes through, but I wonder if this is a change that LGD are going to keep looking to make and like trying to grow him, or if we just see them divert back to playing with Haichao.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I think that similar to what we were talking about, he got the captain treatment. He just got ganked and constantly focused in that second game. I think once they realized that from game number 1, where he did have a very good showing, in my opinion, on the Aurelia, he looked fairly solid. He was looking for aggressive plays. His mechanics seemed on point. Fair enough. He messed it up a little bit underneath the tower, but we can forgive that. As you say, you miss all the shots you don't even take. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see how LGD go, because again, they're in such a flux. They're in a completely different roster effectively. They're looking to see what works best for them. It's not just about the individual play as well. It's how do they perform with the jungler? How do they work with the support?
Yeah.
How do they work in terms of the general overall cohesiveness of this team? And it does feel like we are starting to see, it'll take a couple of games, but again, unfortunately, when it comes to these high level, esports or any sports, to be perfectly honest, it's all about performance. If you can't perform, regardless of how good or bad you're doing, there's just nothing you can really do. But we're going to send it over to Wendy, who's standing by with a victorious Shanji for an interview.
Hello everyone, welcome to interview, and I'm standing by with Shanji from OMG. Congratulations on today's win, a very clean 2-0 victory coming to you guys. And I want to talk a bit more about how do you feel at this moment in getting the first win of the split, and is there any special preparations made by the team during this Chinese New Year break? 那首先恭喜你们今天很漂亮的干净利落2-0拿下了首胜，所以因为是首胜嘛，所以说现在心情怎么样？包括说可能在春节的假期，整个队伍有进行哪些特别的调整和准备吗？
首先赢的话还是挺开心的，然后我们手上打完机就可能感知到自己有哪里的不足吧，然后春节也在就想办法改掉自己的不足，尝试新的东西。
Definitely, I'm very happy that we were able to get our first win of this split. And also, in the previous matchup against RNG, we have noticed where we made some mistakes and we made some feedbacks and we tried to make some improvements on during this break. And also, we would like to attempt some new stuffs in today's game. So I think this may be some preparations we made. And definitely, we can see that. And let's talk a bit more about today's game. In game 1, Cream have got this Baron steal. And you guys, the rest of you, were able to have the team play around there. So tell us more about how did you guys make the team's communication to let Cream to get this Baron steal? 那其实说到第一局，还有小奶油的当时有一波很漂亮的场面，就是抢龙嘛。然后当时你们也是在周围配合，包括说旁边有人在进行团战，所以说想问一下，当时你们队内有怎么样的一个沟通，然后让他来进行了这样的一个抢龙呢？
因为当时我们中单带了棋风秘籍，然后也有惩戒，然后那波说好了就是2滴血一起抢的话，就对面大家也会反应不过来。
So around there, because our main laner, based on the rune build, he also got this match. So we would like to just give them a try because the opponent's team, they may be too rushed into it and they can't have a very good opportunity to just get this Baron. And after that, Cram just successfully got the Baron. And also, besides that Baron still, you guys have shown us so many amazing team plays as well, especially so many amazing team fights. And I would like to talk a bit more about the Game 2 team fights. Around the main lane, before you guys were able to get the first Baron, Krem was able to flank from the behind, and Aki, you guys were able to make the hard engage from the front and end up the team fight, you were able to get the triple kill. So tell us more, who made the shot call there? 那其实第2局的时候，你们也有一波非常漂亮的团战。当时小奶油是一个绕后，然后阿 K 包括你们是从正面开团，最后是你拿下3杀。所以想问一下，当时那一波你们是怎么样来进行的一个指挥，是什么样的操作？
当时就我们觉得团战很好赢，然后我们只要找到好的绕后机位就很好赢，然后我们就提前开始就是布置视野，然后玩兵线，就找一波机会开团。
And around there, we feels like if we were able to find a very good opportunity to make the hard engage, to flank from behind, and the team fight can be super easy for us. So we would like to just find a very good ward to try to have a very good sight. And also after that, we try to clean the waves to clear all the minions. And after that, we were able to find a good angle to make the hard engage in the main lane. And also last year, you got the best rookie award in the All-Star LPL. So this year, share us more. What's your goals you would like to achieve this year? 那其实去年在全明星，我们山鸡哥也获得了最佳新秀的称号嘛。所以说，在今年有没有自己想实现的目标？
新的目标，然后就突破去年的成绩吧，然后看有没有机会打个冒泡赛吧。然后个人就想着还是打得比去年要好一点，进步多一点，成熟一点。
So personally, I would like to have some improvements compared to my results last year, and maybe I would like to give myself a try, like whether we can get into the regional qualifiers for World Championship. So I would like to improve more to try my best to have a better result this year. And best of luck for you, and congratulations again. 再次恭喜你们，希望你能越打越好。And back to you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Wendy, and of course, Shanji. And it's great to see him kind of coming forward there.